Hi, welcome to Auntie Nat's Crochet. Thank you for choosing this tutorial video. Do check out my other videos too if you don't mind. Please do subscribe to my channel. The subscribe button is at this corner of the video. I have hundreds of videos from crochet to amigurumi, clothes to toys, hats to bags, excuse me, and lots more to come. So do check it out. And today I'm going to make a bag, a dinner bag, with this yarn. This is a polypropylene yarn, a stretchy one. You can call it stretchy or you can call it spring polypropylene yarn or stretchy polypropylene yarn. So this is kind of thick, so I'm going to use a 6mm hook. So these have multicolors, so you don't need to change color, and they have these silver lines here and there, which I think is suitable for a dinner bag. Okay, so let's start. Okay, we start by making something like this. Since this is a very dark color yarn, you won't be able to see the stitches. So I'm going to use a cotton yarn to show you how it looks like. So you start off by making a magic ring. Put this onto your finger, make a cross over this side, turn it to the back, pull up a yarn and make a knot. So once you have a knot, you make 5 single crochet into the ring. This is the ring, so you make 5 single crochet into the ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here you have 5 single crochet into the ring here. Pull this. You don't have to pull tight because it's not going to be a circle, it's going to be a semicircle. And just leave it like this. And the middle, 1, 2, 3, the middle stitch here, we're going to add a marker to remind us this is the middle part, the midpoint. This one you can weave it in later on. So now you're gonna chain 1, turn the work. This is the chain 1. Go to the first stitch. Go to this first stitch or the last stitch of the previous row. So now we're going to work on the back loop. So instead of going through both loops, we're only going to work on the back loop. So the first stitch here, I'm going to do an increase. Increase means 2 single crochet into the same stitch, and then we're going to do 1 single crochet into the next stitch, also on the back loop. The whole thing is only on the back loop. So this is the midpoint. On this midpoint here, we're going to do 3 single crochet into the same stitch. 1, 2, 3. After you've done the 3 stitches here, add a marker onto the middle part, the midpoint, and again single crochet, and the last single crochet, and then the last stitch we're going to do an increase, means 2 single crochet into the same stitch. So here 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet in the same stitch, single crochet, and 2 single crochet in this last stitch. Okay, and then we're going to chain 1, turn the work. This is the chain 1. Go to the next stitch, only on the back loop. You do 2 single crochet into the same stitch, which we call this an increase. And the next one, we're going to do just 1 single crochet. Up until this midpoint here. This midpoint, I'm going to do 3 single crochet into the same stitch. So don't forget to add your marker. Just to remind that this is the midpoint. And again, and work our way down. And the last stitch here. So here, this is the midpoint. In case you're not sure where is the last stitch, you count back from here. Like for example, here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, and here 5. This is the last one. Here one more. See? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this last stitch, I'm going to do 2 single crochet. So you end up having a triangle like this. So we're gonna continue to build. Let me make one more row. So you're gonna chain 1, turn your work. At every corner do increase, and the rest is just 1 single crochet. And the midpoint, we're going to do 3 single crochet. And again, work our way down. And the last one is normally kind of hidden, that's why you have to count your stitches. Count your stitches, make sure this side and this side you have the same number of stitch. You're gonna get a triangle like this, and this is how this one look like. So how many rows do I need? So I measure this against my phone. I make sure the phone is about here, and then I do one more row. So up to you how wide you want the bag to be, but mine is just up to here, just enough to, since it's a dinner bag, it's just enough to hold my handphone. And here you might find some holes here, but no worry, because of this color, the glittering part, it will kind of shine off the block of the hole. And the whole bag is black, so by the time, this is the flap of the bag, so by the time you close it down, it's still black, you can't see the holes. So you continue to build in this manner. You continue to build through and fro, to and fro. Make sure you count your number of stitches. The number of stitches here should be the same as the number of stitches over this side. So I'll come back to you and let you know what's the next step. Okay, once you have this triangle part and you measure the length, this is the length that you want. The bag cannot be too big. Too big, it won't be that nice. So here, wait, let me get a ruler. Here it's about 24 to 25 cm long, and if you want in inches, it should be around 10 inches, or you can measure it on your regular bag, so you get a size of a normal handbag. So once I did this triangle part, then it's time to make this part where it will not continue to be a triangle. It starts to become a straight line here. So here, same thing, you're gonna build until you get the length that you want. Later I'm gonna fold this here and here, and you will have a lovely dinner bag. So it's up to you whether you're going to be a clutch bag. Clutch bag means you can just we make one more side here, and you can just hold your bag this way. you don't have to have a back strap, but if you want, you can make a back strap, or you can just make one part to cover here, and the rest you can buy those golden or pearl or glitter back strap and hook it on. So now I'm going to show you how I did this part here. Okay, I'm going to use this a plain color cotton yarn to show you how I'm going to make the sides here. Okay, let's say, take for example, this is the length that you want. Okay, miniature of it. Maybe I can make a pouch out of this. So here you remove 3 stitches. You make sure you have 2 stitch left here, the balance 2 stitch. Put through here, pull up a loop, and you put through the next one, you pull up a loop, and you yarn over all 3, chain 1, turn your work. Remember, this is our chain 1, so you go to the next one, the second one, pull up a loop, again next one, pull up a loop. So you have 3 strands here, put through all 3, and the balance you just do single crochet on the back loop again. Okay, so here when I start to do my first single crochet on the back loop, instead of that 3 loop, I add a marker here. Because this is cotton yarn, it's easy to see, especially here. The last one, the last stitch sometimes is covered by this turning. So once I add a marker, I know that this 2 is going to be my last 2. So here, same thing, continue. You just do single crochet on the back loop. And once you come to the midpoint, same thing, I'm gonna do 3 single crochet into the same stitch. And once you did 3 single crochet, the middle one, add a marker, and here continue. This is easier to see because this is kind of bright color, like the black one. It's kind of hard to see the last stitch, so it's best that you add a marker. So here you see the last stitch is always kind of hidden because of the turning, so you might miss it. So here got 2, so it's best that you add your marker. So here you take 1, leave it on your hook, 2, leave it on your hook, and you have 3 on your hook, put through all 3, chain 1, turn your work, don't take the first one, take the second one, again pull up a loop, go to the next one, pull up another loop, put through all 3, and continue to do your single crochet in the rest of the next stitch. So when I did my first single crochet, I add a marker. Now let me show you why I add the marker there, so that it's consistent, and here this line here will be like consistent. So let me show you one more round. So here I'll just build with single crochet only on the back loop. So once I reach the marker, it reminds me this is the midpoint, you go to the back loop and do 3 single crochet. Once you did 3 single crochet, add a marker in the middle part here, and continue to do single crochet all the way down. And remember, I add a marker here. So once I reach this marker here, which means at the spot where I put the marker, I pull up one, and there's one more hidden at the back here. So there are 3, loop on your hook, put through all 3, chain 1, turn your work, 1, 2, take the second one, pull up a loop, next one, pull up a loop, put through all 3, and do a single crochet in the next. And remember to add your marker so that here you see the straight line. You see it's building a line here. So once I reach here, now you see here is longer, here is shorter. Why? Because I started from here. So from here you will know, as when you build, you will see that this is longer, this is shorter. You need to do one more before you end the back. You end the crochet part. So you can leave here longer and here shorter, right? So here it looks like this. That's how I build a straight line here. So you continue to build. You build until the length that you want, where you can fold it and make it into a bag. So later I'll come back to you and make the sides of the bag. Okay, this is how it looked like, and I've come to the length that I want. So here I'm not going to fold up to this line. I'm going to fold until here, because this is stretchable, so you will find that it's a bit out. So you just pull a bit and put 2 marker here, just to remind that when you fold up to here. And this part here, up to you whether you want to sew it now, where you have a very narrow back, means you can only put your handphone, or you can make a slightly wider part here so that it look like this. And as for the inside, because this is stretchable and it's kind of soft, so you can actually bend it like a cloth. So now I want to make it more firm as a bag. I got some plastic canvas. This is a leftover plastic canvas I have, and you cut it this way. Cut until here, because this is the part where I'm going to fold the bag. So here it might look a bit out, because this is stretchable. So once you attach with this, it will stay firm. So here, just make sure this is the same. Okay, I choose row 2. This is 1 row, bulging row 2. So I choose here. So here would be the same here as well. So now I'm going to cut this. Make sure it's slightly smaller than the back. And on top of this canvas, I'm going to use the lining cloth. You can just use any color cloth you like. So happen I have this color. You cut the same length, slightly longer, and I'm going to sew this onto the back and this onto the back as well, to cover this part, so that when you open up the back, you can't see this plastic canvas. And I am not going to make a bag. Normally people will sew this into a pouch kind of thing and place it in and sew the top. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to sew all the sides here. So let me cut this first and I'll show you how it looks like. Okay, I forgot to mention earlier that I did single crochet all around at this edge here, but here I didn't touch. So which means every time when you do this, you will end up either this corner or this corner. So once you end up this corner, and you can start to do single crochet all around. And when I come to the edge here, I do 2 single crochet into the same stitch. But here it's a little bit tricky because the hole is kind of big. I'll show you with the miniature piece. So let's say, for example, this is how it look like, and this is the length that I want, and this is where I end. So this part here, I am not going to do single crochet. I just leave it as it is. I'll do single crochet all around from here, here, and up here, and I'll stop. So here, this corner part, it's easy. Just do normal single crochet, 1 on this part here, and 1 on this hum here, and then 1 on this part, and 1 on the hum. You will see, like, you will have this part, so in between these two you have 1 single crochet. On top of this you will have 1 single crochet. So here the same, on top of this you will have 1 single crochet. In every valley here you will have 1 more single crochet. So by the time you come to the edge here, I will do 2 single crochet before I turn. Now this side is a bit critical because the hole is kind of big. See, the hole is kind of big. You can either do this, means you do single crochet here, and when you come to this hole here, this is still okay. When you come to this hole here, this big hole here, you either do 2 single crochet, but there's still a hole, or you can do it this way. You see this part here, grab this yarn as well and do a single crochet, and it will kind of cover up. So here you just do 1 single crochet, same here, and when you come to this big hole here, grab this part as well. You will see 1 arch shape here, or a turning here. Just grab 1 of this as well. And it also depends on what kind of yarn you're using. Whether it's t-shirt yarn, cotton yarn. So when you want to seal this part here, you will have to take note and see how you're going to cover the hole. So like this one, this hole is kind of big and it's in the middle. You can do 2 single crochet to see if it does cover the hole. If it doesn't, and again you're gonna pull this arch shape here, pull the middle part as well. Oops, wait, let me do that again. Here in between there's always a strand. So sometimes depending on the type of yarn you're using, see, like this, it will kind of cover up the hole. So like this, same thing. So when you're doing this, you just take note and see what kind of yarn you're using. If your t-shirt yarn or your whatever yarn you're using is kind of thick, it will cover the hole. So here I will have a straight line. So just like here, I will have a straight line, and I cover up all the holes here so you can't see the hole. Because when you open up your bag, this is the part that is visible. So now this one, I have add this buckle here and one more here, and this one is optional whether you want to add something fancy. The buckle, so I add this first before I put the plastic canvas and the cloth, the lining cloth, so that it's easier to sew this on. So it should be around here, and you fold it, it will become like this. It's kind of flimsy now. So it's gonna look like this. And now I'm gonna make the sides here. And before I make the sides, I've cut the canvas. Make sure it's smaller than the back. Make sure this is further down from here. So when I sew this onto here, I will just use a normal thread and needle. You sew it on the side here. So make sure you sew the side here first, and here. Once it stays nicely, follow the line. Make sure it doesn't sway that far. You sew here first, these two sides. Once these two sides and the bottom part is sealed nicely, sew nicely, this part will not move. So this part will be easy, and it will go straight across. And make sure you pull a bit because it's stretchable, and you see this one drop a bit. So make sure you pull. So once I sew this onto the bag, and I'll start to sew the cloth here. So you're gonna sew once on the cloth, once on the back, once on the cloth, once on the back, and it will cover up like this. So in the end, you do not have to make a bag. And from here, I just fold it. Now you can still see here because I haven't sewed it nicely, and it will become a lovely bag. And when you look inside, you can see this purple part. And here you just, and later I'll make the sides here. So as for now, I'm going to sew these two onto the back. You just use normal sewing thread and needle. Once on the back and once on the canvas. It's a plastic canvas. And later on, sew this on top of the plastic canvas. So I'll come back to you once I've done this and show you how this piece looks like on top here. And later on, I'll show you how I'm going to sew this onto the back. Okay, I've attached this onto the bag. Just show you how I attach it. Just use a normal thread and needle. You can use just about any color because this is hidden inside and it will not be shown on the outside. So just show you a bit how I attach this. And this part here, I can just end it. And this is how it looks like. So see, once I bend it, it's kind of firm. This part here is firm, it's no longer that flimsy. Unlike here, I'm not going to put one here because when I open the bag, I want to see black color and not the canvas and the purple color cloth, the lining. I want it to see black when I open my bag. So this is how it looked like at the moment. So here, I mean, this is the easy version. So here I'm not gonna do anything, I'm just gonna bend it. This plastic canvas, you can bend it anyhow, it doesn't break. Okay, I'll come back to you once I attach the lining, the cloth. Okay, I'm halfway through with this lining, this cloth. So let me show you a bit of how I join this here. You just make one stitch on this crochet and you make one stitch on the cloth. You pull and you can't see. You can't even see the stitches. This time round, it's best that you use the same color as your yarn. In my case, it's black. So you just grab one of this yarn, one on the back and one on the cloth, and you just do all the way. I'm not done here yet, so you just do all the way, and later when I fold it, you open your bag and that's it. You don't have to sew a small bag inside. Here I'm going to make the sides later on. So I'll come back to you once I have this nicely attached. Okay, the sides here, I've decided to just do a slip stitch thing because my yarn is stretchable and it's quite kind of thick. So when I did a small piece here to join, it doesn't look nice. So I tried this method, just slip stitch the sides here, and it looks more like a dinner bag. It's not that thin and it's stretchable, so there's still plenty of room inside to put my stuff. So I'm going to show you over this side how I'm going to do that. So you make sure this side you fold it nicely, and where is your midpoint? So just grab a yarn, and make a knot. And once I make a knot, I hide this inside here. So before I start to crochet, just double check that this is the right spot and where is the midpoint. So you grab the hook. What I do is here I take the over this side I take the back loop, over this side I take the front loop, because so now I'm gonna take this as well, the knot, and I go for the back loop, the front loop. Over this side I take the back loop, over this side I take the front loop. So I just do a slip stitch. So you see here, you just take the back loop and take the front loop and just do a slip stitch. So take the back loop and the front loop of the other side and do a slip stitch. As for the tail here, once you're done, hide it all inside here, because this part here, it's kind of, because it's springy, so it's kind of tight. So you just push all this tail inside and it's kind of hidden. so I don't have to make a bag for this, a bag, lining bag to go in and sew. So I just do this. So you just slip stitch, and it also depends on the yarn you're using, whether it's a thick yarn or quite thin or t-shirt yarn. So you have to see whether you can do this. So once you are at the edge here, you just take a look and see if everything is okay. If not, you can do one more stitch here. Just one last stitch here. Once you are comfortable, you think this is the last stitch, just double check. Just check everywhere and see if there's any bulging anywhere. Okay, so if when everything is fine, this slip stitch, just chain one and pull tight. Pull tight here, so to make a knot here, and cut the yarn and hide it inside, which you have to go through some of this knot here so that it's tight, and make sure this part here, if you have any holes here, you just maybe do one more stitch. So it's gonna look like this. So I'll come back to you once I have this hide nicely inside. Okay, this is how the finished product look like. You can just hold it like this, like a clutch bag. Okay, or you can get something like this where you don't even have to make a buckle here. You get something like this. I got this online where they have this hook, because this kind of dinner bag you will not put any heavy stuff, right? Only maybe just a handphone or your lipsticks, something light. So this should be fine. So you go to one of the nearest yarn, make sure you hook on both sides. Make sure you hook both, don't hook one, hook both, and you will get yourself a lovely handbag. So you do not have to sew any, you don't have to sew any buckles, or just so long you take two strands here, not one, take two, so that when you carry it, you kind of balance it off. And this is how the inside look like. So here I've hide the yarn inside here. And you can add some fancy stuff here if you want. And remember, here it's stretchable, so sometimes it just like it looks like if it's gone out of shape. You can pull it back. So thank you for watching. Hope you like this pattern, and I'll see you in my next post.